Welcome to the Macabre Academy. We're French this week, so tune in for the beautiful, beautiful shit show that will be our episode.
I love it so much.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Show.
You're welcome.
Yes.
So we're trying something. I would say we're trying something new this week, listeners. So this might be total and utter crap.
Maybe.
Hopefully you'll like it, and hopefully it'll go off swimmingly. If not, we apologize in advance, and you can yell at us on social media.
Hey, they know
I'm
what they
not
signed up
sorry.
for.
Truth. I'm not sorry.
Sorry, not
suck.
sorry. Okay. Actually, I'm going to start off with banter anyway. There's a doormat I want for my new apartment that says "Welcome to the Shit Show," and it's got all those pretty flowers around it.
So obviously we need it.
Yeah, we have to buy it.
The one I want, the doormat I want, it says, "Come back with a warrant."
That's kind of like mine right now. It says come back with pumpkin spice.
On it.
He is part of the Macabre Academy. He's got the pumpkin spice.
It's perfect.
This is actually a pumpkin spice macchiato. You sub out the vanilla syrup for pumpkin spice, and it's amazing.
What?
Ooh, that sounds good.
It is good.
Oh, tomorrow I'm getting that. I've never had it that way.
No.
It's all right. My life's over. I put Screwball peanut butter whiskey in my apple cider, and it's game over. I'm done.
It's going to be a long night, everybody. Buckle up.
Yeah.
I'm drinking water.
Somebody's making good choices.
Water? Fish fucking water.
I don't drink water, guys. I might die.
Don't die.
Look, that's all after this recording. We got too much shit to get through.
That is true. So, I wanted a good segue, and I can't think of one.
I guess if you die, we'll have to bring you in by seance.
Oh.
Yeah, Kev for the segue. He is
Look at
on it
you.
today.
You're not trash today.
Oh, he's good. He's so good.
Proud of you.
Okay, so Kev hit the nail on the head. Today we are talking about divination techniques. This was requested by one of our favorite Patreon childs, Tara.
I love Tara.
Yeah, we owed her. In fact, this is a re-record because the first one I was such a hot mess. So here we are. Tara, we love you. We love your participation, and we appreciate that you're part of the Macabre Academy. We need like 10 more of you.
Yeah, can you just duplicate yourself?
Yeah, you need one of her in your houses because she does the dares.
Right.
Kev, the
People
person
need to step it up.
Well, hey, the person in Kev's house does the dares.
What the fuck are we doing, guys? Why are we trash?
House Nevermore, man.
Look at the house. Look at the house leader. That should tell you everything you need to know.
I mean, you're not wrong. I am a trash leader. I learned that last month.
Okay. So, speaking of divination, how about, I don't know how good my statistic is, but 15% of Americans have consulted a psychic or a fortune teller.
I'm part of that 15%.
Me too.
So the first time we did this, I couldn't remember the other name they go by now. It's clairvoyant. Is what I pulled from my brainscape.
You know who's not a clairvoyant? This girl.
Me?
Same. I'm just haunted.
You're sensitive.
I'm sensitive because I'm haunted.
There is actually a tarot card reader, which I adored. I actually preferred going to him instead of going to therapy.
There you go.
Well, his predictions were like head on. Like they were fantastic. And, you know, his cards were his mother's cards and he was like deadly accurate.
Wow.
She helped in the beginning of when Wicca was starting to become popular in like the 60s or something, or the 70s, with that kind of revolution and that free thinking and a return to nature and stuff. So her deck was very original. And I have like 6 decks sitting in my cabinet right now. Like 6 of them.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, what sucks is like there's like a friction, okay? There's tarot historians and tarot card readers. It's like putting the people who research historical Jesus next to a Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spiritual Jesus and historical Jesus do not marry together well.
No.
What's the truth though is tarot evolved from playing card games over time. There's a timeline. I know because I've organized it.
So when you told me about this, I started looking into it a little bit, and I found the most insane stat that I could have possibly come up with.
Okay.
I'm actually shocked by this because this woman who went by the Greenwich Psychic, I think she went by. Her normal fee was like $1.50, and this was like in '94, so that was a lot of money in '94.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
Like you
It's a
could
lot
buy
of money
a car.
now.
Like you could buy a car in '94 for $150, right?
Mm-hmm.
For 24/7 access to this chick, you could pay between 2 G's and 9 G's.
Wait, why?
What the fuck?
For 24/7 access to her. If you needed her at like 3 in the morning, she'd be there. But you had to pay between 2 and 9 G's.
Was she
I don't
that
think that's
good?
worth it.
I guess people paid it.
Is she around today?
I have no idea.
Is that like a Miss Cleo situation where she kind of just like died off?
I remember those infomercials. Those were funny.
Well, I fell in love with that. I want to do an episode on it so bad. I've said this before.
Oh, that man.
Mucho Amor.
Yes.
It's a documentary on Netflix, and this guy did astrology on Spanish television,
Mm-hmm.
and he was so beloved. Ugh, I cried through that documentary. I loved it so much.
That's what you were saying.
Kev, have you seen it yet? Do you Netflix documentaries?
I Netflixed the Great British Baking Show.
What season are you on?
I've actually started watching it in reverse order, so I went from 7 to 1.
Why?
Because it's what came up in my Netflix timeline.
You're a monster.
Listen,
Does that bother you?
Listen, I started
Oh,
watching
no.
Vikings in season 6.
No.
And then my
can't.
wife yelled at me and went, "You can't do that." And I went, "Why? I don't even know if I like it. I just want to get into the show, see if I like it." So I
Oh my
watched like
God,
an
no.
episode of it. Then I watched like an episode and a half, and she yelled at me some more, and I was like, "Fine." So I waited for her to come home from a business trip, and we watched it from the beginning.
No, you're a monster. I
I
can't
am
do
a
that.
monster.
You know
No.
what? It makes sense though, because there was that Salem show on Netflix, and I hated the first episode. I had to force myself 3 times to get to the 3rd episode before it got good.
Okay,
Orphan
that's
Black
fair.
was the same way. Did you ever watch Orphan Black?
Orange is the New Black?
No, Orphan Black.
No.
You have to watch it. It's fucking amazing.
So
but
like,
it's typical BBC shit. So it starts real slow
okay.
because like it's not like people in other countries apparently have attention spans.
Clearly we don't.
So they actually do like character development and shit, and it's fucking really, really good.
You know what? BBC gave us Sherlock Holmes with Cumberbatch, and I'm okay with that. Like, I feel like I could invest myself.
Like, if
That's
you haven't
fair.
watched Orphan Black, what are you even doing with your life?
Sleeping, crying.
Actually, researching tarot cards. That's what I've been doing with my life.
I've been sleeping and crying.
I've been playing Modern Warfare way too much.
Oh God.
We're a modern warfare podcast now.
I don't play video games.
You know how much money I made on the stock market this week?
Kev, how much money did you make on the turnip market?
I cashed out for 1.06 million bells.
How is that even possible?
I bought them
Magic.
at 92. I spent 200,000 on them, so I cleared like 800 G's. But I bought them for 92, and I sold them for 546 bells per turnip.
Brandy's face got super serious.
I have a question.
And I still owe that raccoon fucking money. I still owe him like $4,000. I also still owe him like 400,000 bells. Fuck that raccoon.
Steph, do you have something smoking?
I do. It's incense.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
Every stick is a spite.
That's fine. I just constantly see like right behind you, like little puffs of like smoke. But I was like, are those smoke or is there something in her house?
Oh, I should have
And that's why
lied
my
and said
face-
they were ghosts.
No, that's why my face got so serious. I was like, no, Steph, like you can't have ghosts in there.
No, we just smudged the shit out of my place. There's no
That's
way
why I
there's
got
ghosts.
scared.
No, I actually put in librarian incense, and we know how much every stick is spiting my mother-in-law. I'm like,
Oh, 1,000%.
yeah. So I thought since I did all this research and we were doing this awesome episode with all this history and all this dedication and you know sources and shit, I was like, oh, we're gonna burn librarian, but we literally only got it.
And you're also wearing a Ghostbusters shirt, which is apt.
I'm so proud of you.
Mm-hmm. However, I only got like to my first bullet of my nose, so we got to get it
What do you
together, guys.
expect from us? We're trash.
Get yourself a snack, boys. This is going to be a long one.
I got a zebra cake.
You do eat something every episode, Brandy.
It's gonna
Can I tell you
happen.
how pissed off I was this Christmas? I love the Little Debbie trees, and I couldn't find them anywhere. It ruined my fucking Christmas.
Shut up.
There's no way those disappeared off the face of the earth. They're too
No,
old.
they only came up for like a limited time, and I missed them.
Oh,
I
that
literally spent 2 months checking Giant Eagle's shelf for like hoping they'd come back, and they didn't. I was so pissed off. I get a
happens.
box every year. I demolish them, and I never eat them again. It's a once a year thing.
That's like
That's
Pete's. I buy them
Yeah.
at Easter and then I don't want them again.
And candy corn.
I love candy corn. You shut your whole
Yeah,
mouth.
but no, I don't eat candy corn any other time of the year other than Halloween.
That's the only
There's-
time you can eat candy corn.
I mean, no, technically you can eat candy corn all year, but like,
No, you can't.
okay,
Because
I'm gonna
you buy
eat it
a
at Christmas
because
now.
you only buy so much, and then you demolish it, and you can't get it again. So you can't eat it all year because I don't have any self control. If it's in my house, I demolish the whole fucking bag.
That's fair.
Jelly beans,
Okay,
on the other
Steph.
hand, I still have.
Oh my god, I fucking love jelly beans.
I love the popcorn jelly bellies. Those are my
Oh,
favorite.
there's something wrong with you.
Yes.
All of the jelly beans. We knew this already, dude.
My move is you get the green apple and the cherry, and you mix them together, and it's fucking amazing.
Mm. All right. If I could redirect, if I may.
No, this is now a food podcast.
It's fair.
All right. So to discuss the hero. See, now you've got me all disoriented. I hope you're
I
happy.
could go for a hero. You got one laying around?
Oh God, I wish. I need me a big stack of meat. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten dinner yet. Okay. So we're going to start with playing cards before we get to tarot.
Okay.
All right. Playing cards originated in 9th century China during the Tang Dynasty as an evolution of domino tiles. So there was this advent of wood.
I haven't thrown bones in a while.
Do you know how to play dominoes?
Yeah, I work at a cigar shop. It's a requirement. You must know how to play dominoes.
He's also pretty good at poker.
I can't play cards, but I want to learn dominoes.
We can do that.
Cool. Yeah, no, all card games are off the table unless it's Go Fish.
I don't know. If you do dominoes, I like Mexican trains the most. That's the funnest version of dominoes.
I don't
was
know
trying
any
to learn the
version,
shit
so
they-
you can teach me any.
I was learning the shit they play in Nicaragua for the trip I'm taking down there eventually, because you got to.
Mm-hmm. Nicaraguan is one of my favorite growing regions for coffee and cigar tobacco. But we need to get back to China.
Okay.
Great. So those motherfuckers figured out woodblock printing technology. And the first mention of card games is actually found in Sui's book, Collection of Miscellanea of the Du Yang. You can also thank them for drinking card games. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Those weren't a normal deck of cards, but they were the ones with like instructions on them. And you either did the thing or you forfeited based on what the card said.
Okay.
but it still sounds fun to me.
Yeah.
Now we just need to learn Mandarin.
Right? That's so hard.
My sister-in-law is fluent in Mandarin.
Seriously?
How?
She's a fucking wizard. I have no idea.
Not some real witchcraft.
I think you just married into a family of smart people.
I'm probably the dumbest person in any family gathering on my wife's side. It's ridiculous.
I mean, that's fair.
Degree. And I have a master's degree.
I'm the smartest person in my family. Is that sad? Yes. It's sad.
You know what's not sad?
Card games?
Yeah, card games. They're fun. They're a
not.
good time. They're a good time.
I hate them.
Well, you're going to love them after this episode, damn it. 11th century, they found playing cards migrating into Egypt.
Did they have passports?
Possibly. I'd love to
No,
see
they were illegal.
They're aliens.
They're aliens.
Undocumented.
Ancient
Undocumented.
aliens. Ancient astronaut
aliens.
theories say yes.
I'm not saying it was aliens.
It was aliens.
It was aliens. That's totally going on my business cards next time I get business cards.
Yes.
Better.
I'm just going to slip it in there.
Well,
Egypt.
The oldest surviving cards in the world are 4 fragments found in the Kir collection and one in the Benaki, Benaki, museum.
We are very flat.
Well, those you're looking at like 12th and 13th century. You know what's crazy is when I was studying religion in college, right, there was a museum exhibition, and I saw the oldest scrap of the Bible known to existence, and it was from Mark, and it was like from, I can't remember the dates, but it was shortly after Christ died by comparison. So I'm literally staring at this piece of paper that's from like 100 AD, and I like lost my mind.
God.
Yeah, so I would be very interested to see these playing card fragments. I need to Google that because I hadn't done that yet.
Yeah.
Europe's first documentary of actually playing card games comes from the city of Brunei, because they actually did a ban in 1367, and Florentine followed in 1377. You don't really see tarot cards until you see cartomancy. That's the schmancy name of reading cards for divination. You can be a cartomancer. Okay. Some theories actually date tarot far back as 14th century to a Turkish card game Mamluk that migrated into Western Europe. So those are like the earliest Arabic playing cards. A complete set found dated back to the 15th century. Do Yins know anything about Islamic art by chance?
No.
No.
Fair. So when you're looking at art in Turkey and stuff, there's very few representations of people. So they spend a lot of time on architecture, filigree, plants, and script. And that reflected in these cards because the cards are hallmarked by an arched border similar to Islamic doorways, gravestones, windows, and friezes. The suits kind of still exist today, but they were originally coins, cups, swords, and polo sticks. There are 13 cards per suit. That should sound familiar. The numbers go from 1 to 10 plus 3 court cards. One's a king, one's a lieutenant, and a second lieutenant. And then there was like a rank of what the card was and a blue description at the bottom of the card. What kind of sucks is the Europeans couldn't read Turkish, so they represented those things pictorially.
Okay, so that's why we have like the pictures of the king.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And then that's also where you start to see like repeats of certain symbols on the cards. So
Okay.
like you have like 9 diamonds on a card. It's easier
Right.
just to represent those if you can't read the number, but you can
Right.
count them.
Okay. Makes sense.
So they get all schmancy in France. Big shocker.
Of course they
Where
do.
we're from.
1392, Charles the Sixth. Does anybody know anything about Charles the Sixth?
He came
Is he
before
the one
Charles He came after Charles V and before Charles VII.
Is he the one that cut everyone's heads off?
I have no idea. I just know that Kev's right.
Oh. Well, one of them cut all their wives' heads off, didn't it?
Maybe?
I feel like one of the kings did. I just don't know which one.
That's what Google's for.
You want me to Google it?
Yeah, might as well.
Other search engines are available.
Mm.
They suck by comparison, but not sponsored. So Charles VI, while she's looking that up, commissioned painter Jacquemin to Gringenier. Okay, it's Gringeneur. I couldn't commit to a pronunciation. I'm sorry.
So I was wrong. It's King Henry.
Is he a 6th?
It's a V and then 3 I's.
That's the 8th.
8th.
You
And
weren't
he's
even
from
close.
England,
Yeah, you weren't close.
not from France. Sorry.
Not at all.
He also has a song.
King Henry VIII, I am.
I'm Henry VIII, I am. Henry VIII, I am. Better stop before we get copyrighted.
It's not a proper episode unless Kev sings.
I'm proud of you.
Okay,
I need to start smoking bigger cigars. I'm going through way too many.
that's what she said.
Okay.
It was a
Continue.
Yeah, it was a womp womp moment. I really wanted a she said
sorry.
moment, and it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen. I wanted it to, and then it just failed.
Because I fail at life.
Right? Me too. That's why we get along.
Because we're trash.
So Charles VI, for the 3rd attempt in a row, he commissioned 3 packs of cards to be, air quote, ornamented with many devices. And the only reason we know this is because the court treasurer documented the transaction in a ledger somewhere. There are 17 cards in the Charles VI deck that still might exist today. Now, there are some theories, but possibly the set in the Bibliothèque Nationale in Paris might be there. But of course, there's some nay motherfuckers that are like, nope, those are Northern Italy from the 15th rather than the 14th century. So I don't know. Brandy, you're gonna like this part.
Ooh.
Yeah, you better have some shit when I get done saying this stuff. Okay.
Oh, good.
Italy. All right. No, lies. England. Fuck off. I'm just going to read it. In 1432, St. Bernardo warned the, air quote, faithful that cards were invented by the devil. Later picked up by English Puritans, they were regarded as the devil's picture book. And then by 1495, Henry VII, that Kev mentioned, issued a decree forbidding his servants from playing cards except during Christmas.
But they're the devil. Why
Yep.
am I allowed to play them on Jesus' birthday?
Maybe he cancels.
They cancel each other out. Yeah.
That's bullshit. Fuck that shit. I'm playing cards on Halloween now to bring double the devil. Fuck you.
We should play rummy, and then you should lay 3 6s. You kill
Teach
a
me how
run.
to play rummy just so I can do that.
That's the game my family all played. It's rummy.
I need you to understand. Same. It was rummy, may I, and then something else. And I'm 25, and they've tried to teach me every year, and I just can't learn.
Kev, do your family have a card game that they all play?
Not really.
But
We
you
play
play.
a lot of poker.
Oh, that's fair.
There you go. We need to play poker with Kevs. We need to do that.
I'm really bad. You're going to get frustrated.
But that's half the fun.
I mean, I'm just letting you know.
That's why it's called a game.
Like, my family kicked me out of the card game so many times because why haven't you learned this yet? You've been here for 25 years. And I was like, I'm sorry, I just can't figure it out. I give up.
Well, you might have more fun with tarot cards if I can get to it. All right. The Italian aristocracy played a game called Tarocchi Appropriati. That was 15th century. The oldest deck from this time was from 1440, and it was called the Visconti Sforza, maybe, which was made for the Duke of Milan's family. A player would receive a random card, and it would inspire a poem about each other. And it would also be interpreted into narrative, sort of like a choose-your-own-adventure game.
Okay, I want to play that game.
Right? I'm going to teach you tarot if it kills me. But the Tarocchi Appropriati is similar to bridge or mash. And these cards were referred to sortes or destinies.
Okay.
Have you ever played bridge?
I have not.
Don't you need like 4 players for that shit?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, we're one short. We can't learn bridge.
I mean, if we really need it, my mom's always down to play cards.
I don't think I've met your mom. Or I did.
You
I got
have
drunk.
not.
Who did I tell that I was drunk at your house?
That was Tiffany's mom and grandma. You have not met my mom yet.
Oh, okay. I just know there was an old lady who's like, "You're a straight shooter." And I'm like, "Yes, ma'am."
Yeah, that was Tiffany's grandma.
She's like, "Who are you? What are you doing on this couch?" I got drunk and I stayed the night.
Right? Like, I'm here. Hi.
Yins don't know me, but I'm the drunk ass on this couch. You won't see me again for a hot minute.
It's okay.
Okay, so in Italy, these rich motherfuckers had artisan cards called Carta di Trionfi, or Cards of Triumph. Those suits were cups, swords, coins, and polar sticks, comprised with 2 male helpers. Should sound familiar. But those images and suits were inspired by costume characters of the local Carnivale parades.
So that's where we get, like, the gesture?
Jester,
same thing.
No, it's not. Kids usually do this
not.
to me. A gesture is like a hand moment.
I know it's not the same
active
thing, but in my brain it is.
That's like me and Cask and Casket. Me and Kev got into an entire fight last episode on it. I thought I was saying the right thing and I wasn't. They're not the same thing, Brandy.
My brain's still going to tell me that they are. It's okay. But is that where it comes from?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I mean,
You know,
you
We're
and I
just
also
sitting
got,
here, head in hands.
Yeah.
it's okay. We also got in a fight because I called it the clown. And she goes, it's not a clown. And I was like, no, it's a clown.
Well, they're not just gestures. They're also harlequins.
That's what our fight was about. Because I was like, oh, yeah, the creepy clown looking thing. And you were like, no, it's a harlequin. And I was like, yeah, a clown.
If you like the Joker and Harley, she's a harlequin. She's not a clown. Yeah, I saw that. I'm sure Soundmaiden can turn that up so we can hear that. If you can replay that right here, prove that I heard what she said. Please, Soundmaiden. Kev looks so disappointed in us.
This episode is going so much better than the one we trashed.
Guys, I need you to know we have 7 pages of notes and we're only on page 2.
We were halfway done with the episode that Steph and I recorded earlier this week by now.
Yeah. All right. Pressing through. All right. At some point, queens and wild cards were added to make up the deck of 78 tarot that we know today. So the minor arcana translate into little secrets, and major arcana translates into big secrets. Hold on to that for later. The reinvention.
There you go.
Yeah, that word. Which just sucks because now you guys have my Google Doc so you can see what I'm supposed to be saying so you can laugh at me even harder when I don't say it right. The reinvention in 14th century of woodblock printing occurred in Germany.
The Germans, they always make good stuff.
Right? Except for... No, I don't have an exception.
No, I don't like their food.
I love German food. I need me some Spatzel and some sauerbraten.
I was actually just talking about the ShamWow guy.
Wait, what does ShamWow have to do with German?
Is he
food?
German?
No, but that was what he said in the infomercial. He's like, it's made in Germany. You know, the Germans always make good stuff.
So I'm part German, so if that's true, they partly
shortly thereafter, he got arrested for beating up a hooker.
You know what? Sometimes you just need to beat people up. It's fair.
Especially hookers. It's fine.
She might have deserved it.
She might have not, though. That's what we learned in
You're
the
not
Soul
wrong.
case.
I've always wondered if they used the ShamWow to like clean the blood off.
Oh my God! Wait, that's how I want my body cleaned up when I die.
ShamWows.
Yes. But Steph, I also want you to walk into my funeral already drunk and be like, "She hated all of you bitches. Go home."
Yes,
and that's it. Okay, cool.
Put in your will. Remind me. I'm all about that.
Happen.
Yes. But I have to redirect if I may.
I guess.
Okay.
We really should have just done the banter episode first and then dug into this one.
I told Jins, we got to get this out of our system. It is really better. I even said this before we started. Please interrupt me. And now I have so many regrets. So many.
You can't do that.
I can't undo it. There's no going back. No regrets.
No regrets.
So, when the Germans started mass producing shit through the reinvention of woodblock printing, which means independent of when China did it like 5 centuries earlier or whatever, there was a rise in interest in these divination cards and playing cards because it was easier to mass produce them because it's just printing paper. So this actually led to card printing shops in Italy, France, Germany, and Belgium. And this became so popular and so skilled that they were marked by private artisans and craftsmen guilds. Yeah. So 1540, fortune cards were changed from playing card games into divination cards because of a book published called The Oracles of Francisco Marcelino de Forlì. This, again, is one card chosen at random to predict the future or answer a question. And then in 1735, we have manuscripts published called The Square of Sevens that start to suggest laying out the cards in a particular pattern. But it's not really established until 1750 called, there was another publication called the Pratisi Cartomancer. And not only does it establish patterns, but it also starts to assign individual meanings to the cards. Brady, you might like this one. I like this one. In 1781, we see a former Protestant pastor, okay, his name is Anton Court de Gabelin, in France, make a connection between tarot and some holy Egyptian texts. And he claimed that these texts migrated through Europe by African gypsies. And he published a book called Le Monde Primitif, or The Primitive World, which suggested that all these arcane things were for divination. And then he published his own deck in 1789.
I do like that.
You know, he was full of shit, right?
Yeah, but like I still like it. I mean, it's fine.
Well, I'm going to try to ruin it for you.
Why you always gotta do that?
Because that's my job.
Okay.
It really is.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I'm the drunk that kills the buzz. Okay, that's what I do. So there's some problems with this guy's statement, okay, because it predates gypsies in Europe altogether. And also, ancient Egyptian books or whatever couldn't be read at this time. Hieroglyphics could not have been translated prior to finding the Rosetta Stone in 1799. His cards came out in 1789. The Rosetta Stone wasn't found until 10 years later.
So, like, I have a question.
Sure.
What's the Rosetta Stone?
Are you
It's that
fucking
language learning
serious?
software that's really fucking expensive.
Listen, that's where my mind went, but I know it has to be something else because it's really, really long ago.
This is like one of the most important things to unlocking ancient languages that ever came into existence.
Is that why the company named itself that?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
It's a giant decoder ring on translating several different languages into other languages that we know. So it unlocked all these ancient languages that nobody knew what it meant.
And I think the key was that it had Latin on it, so you were able
Okay, I was
to go
gonna
from
say-
the Latin back
Okay.
to the other stuff.
Because I was like, how do we know what it means if we don't know those languages? But if it has Latin, that makes a lot more sense. Okay.
Yeah, we did not know what the hieroglyphs even said until that
Right.
Rosetta Stone was found.
Okay.
I mean, you can make some speculation, like, oh, I recognize
Right.
that little eyeball over there, and that's a grain of wheat. And you can see
Right.
that it's in a pattern, it's trying to say something, but nobody could crack that shit.
Okay. I just wasn't, like, obviously I figured it was something like translating, but also what language did it translate to that we knew? And, like, how did they know it?
Because Kev knows the thing better than me.
Because he's
That's
smart.
That's literally the only fact about it I know.
Good. So
Okay.
we put me and
I
Kev
mean-
together, you got the whole
And it makes
explanation.
sense because it has Latin in it, and we know Latin, we can translate it from there. That makes sense then.
Yep.
That's all. That's where my brain was like, what?
Well, I think what he was trying to do is I have this problem too. As soon as somebody throws Egyptian at it, it just automatically deems it as exotic and esoteric and, oh, it must be legitimate. And it gives this crazy credibility to the Victorian mind. And even some people still do that today. Like, oh, my past life, I was from Egypt. No, you weren't, motherfucker. Okay? You're as white as white. You probably were some farmer peasant in the middle of Holland. Okay? You're not an Egyptian pharaoh reincarnate. Okay? You're not that special. Get over yourself.
Although if you put Egyptian in front of cotton, you can charge like 4 times more for your sheets.
See?
You're not wrong.
Exactly. Bullshit. I call bullshit. And I love Egyptian culture. Like, I'm obsessed with it. So that's why I get more mad.
That's fair.
Yeah. So, okay. 1791, still prior to the Rosetta Stone, we have Etilia au l'art de lire des les cartes. All right. Well, I'm notoriously bad at pronouncing things, but this means Etilia, the art of reading cards, comes out. And it's written by this.
See, the problem with French is you say like every third you say like every third letter. It's not like German where you say like in German you say every single letter in the word. French you just have like letters that don't need to be there.
Like Target and ballet.
So, hold on.
Also, the word for pet in French is so ridiculously long.
Just now he did. So, like,
yes, the word. Yeah, the French word for pet is animal de compagnie.
Look at you all sexy with that French.
Proud of you.
But that is a long ass word for pet.
It's a really stupid one.
I think what is it saying? It's my animal companion.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, the word I was trying to say translates into the art of reading cards. Now, here's the fun part. It's written by Jean-Baptiste Alietta, or Aliette, whatever. And he used his last name backwards to name this special card in his deck. And
he did.
Yeah, it's narcissistic as shit.
Up.
It's so narcissistic.
I mean, at least you had like a backwards last name that looked good. Mine wouldn't make any sense, and they'd be like, "What the fuck is this?"
I mean, I could do it with my maiden name because it's Italian, so it would look super crazy backwards.
Yeah, mine's German Irish. It would not look good.
All right, I'm trying not to say your last name backwards, so we're just gonna go. Okay, so this guy, not only is he a narcissist, but he's a rip-off artist, okay? Because his cards, his tarot cards, are based off a game called Peak? PQ?
It's peak.
Peak. And the special card in that game is what he called his last name backwards, the Eliatelia card or whatever. And he took everything off of Gebelin. And this fucker also claimed that Egyptian hieroglyphs were inspiration for the divination cards. And he based this off of the Book of Thoth that had engraved plates that inspired the imagery on these cards. And his deck became the first explicitly known for divination or tarot because of the secret knowledge from Egyptian mysticism.
So, like, hold on. The Book of Thoth that I looked into does not match up with this at all.
Oh, what's in the Book of Thoth?
So, like, I found it, the Aleister Crowley version.
Oh, fuck Aleister Crowley.
Right. But,
fuck
like,
that
guy. It's basically just his version of the deck and, like, explaining all of the deck through him. Like, because he designed with someone else a set of cards. And then, so, like, he designed them, and then he had a co-designer / artist who would do all the artwork on the cards.
Well,
and then, go ahead.
Well, Thoth is the Egyptian god of the underworld who would record things in his book.
Right.
Right. So it shouldn't have anything to do with tarot. So Crowley sounds like he's doing the same bullshit.
Yeah, so he, like, made another book with the same, like, Book of Thoth name in it so that it would link the two together.
Wait, what time, when did he publish his Book of Thoth?
1944.
Motherfucker. He ripped that off of him.
So he linked it together that way because it was a bigger, longer name. Hold on, let me see if I can find the exact.
Oh, now I hate Crowley even more.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's worth dedicating an episode to him because I hate that motherfucker so much.
Let's see.
Oh, after we're done recording, I thought that I had to tell Brandy. I forgot about it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, well, we're an hour in and we're barely halfway through. So
we were done.
So,
you and I were done by this point.
I know, but it wasn't not nearly as entertaining.
It was not nearly as good.
so he named his, the Book of Thoth, parentheses, Egyptian Tarot. And then as, like, the author, he has his name. And then in parentheses again, it says the Master Tarion.
Is that him trying to say he's a chiromancer by calling himself a Tarion?
Yep.
Fuck that guy.
So, like, I really just don't like this guy.
You know what? I don't either, and I kind of don't want to waste any more time on him. If our patrons want me to do an Aleister Crowley, I will, but it is going to be at great personal, like,
I mean, I'll do it and I'll make fun
begrudgment.
of him the whole time.
Oh, it's so bad. Well, when you start getting closer to Aleister Crowley in the 19th century, you get this guy, Levi Zahet, okay? And he also exchanges priesthood for mysticism, occult, and magic. And I kind of feel like that's me, because I exchanged Catholicism for my, occult studies or whatever.
Right.
But in his view, tarot was older than 14th century. And his brain, this is pretty cool, he links the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet to the 22 trump cards in a tarot deck. And then he believed that the tree of life was linked to tarot as well, and the cards would help you provide a roadmap into heaven, which is some very close to Golden Dawn hermetic shit. Brandy's face. Do you know anything about Golden Dawn?
No, I'm trash.
Absolute garbage.
No, but I do. I did some research on this.
You're not
Kev.
complete trash. Look at you.
And for the save. All right, Kev, what do you got for me? To help me explain this to Brandy.
Okay. I am not going to try to read the Latin because if you looked at my transcripts from university, I did not do well in Latin. Funny story about this. When I took Latin 2, the professor pulled me aside and went, "What are you doing here?" And I went, "I'm trying to pass the class." She goes, she looks at me with a dead straight face, and she looks at me and goes, "Listen, I only passed you in Latin 1 because I didn't think you'd be dumb enough to take Latin 2."
I took Latin
She goes
in high school, and the only thing I knew how to say throughout the 2.5 years I took it was "kill dead babies."
So then she's like, then she goes, "You should probably think about dropping this course." I went, "Well, I wish you had told me that 2 days ago because ad drop was yesterday." She goes, "Oh, I'll see you in class on Friday." And I went, "Nah, I don't think so."
Oh my god.
I showed up to the final. I translated everything into base because she like had translated like a third of the sentence. So I just made it sound like decent English, handed in the paper, and it was an 8 a.m. final. It was a 15-minute walk from the building back to my dorm. I was back in bed by 8:30.
I love that. I'm so proud of you.
Kev for the win. That's winning right there.
Kev for the win. Hard.
So yeah. Anyway, back to the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, which I don't know if that name could be any longer, but man, they really tried.
It's schmancy. You didn't know. The more words they add, the more, mysterious it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn is more commonly referred to as just the Golden Dawn, which is, aces for everybody. It was a secret society, though I don't know how secret it is since we know about it. It was devoted to the study and practice of the occult, metaphysics, and the paranormal, and they took place during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. They're known as a magical order, which is something, I guess. They were active in Great Britain and Sweden, and they focused their practices on, I can't even read my own notes, theurgy? Sure.
Yeah.
And spiritual development.
Go with that.
I'm going with it. Many present-day concepts and rituals of magic are thought to be the center of these traditions. And these include things like Wicca, which, we got stuff for that now, so we don't need these people. Just throw them aside. We got stuff. That's all we need. There were 3 founders, William Robert Woodman, William Wynne Westcott, and Samuel Little Mathers. And they were Freemasons. So
Oh, another layer.
So that's kind of cool, I guess. They're based on a hierarchy and initiation, much like the Masonic lodges. However, women were admitted on an equal basis with men, which is pretty good for the times we're talking about.
Yeah, right. 19th century. Isn't that like women's suffrage and shit?
Yeah.
So they formed roughly 1887 and went away roughly 1903.
Fair. But so
Okay.
they were thriving in the Victorian era then.
Yes.
So what's interesting about the Victorian era then, you're seeing a rise in occult and spiritualism, and that came into favor with the upper class who were bored as fuck. But they threw a lot of house parties because they had monies. And all these house parties started to turn into seance, reading tea leaves, palmistry, tarot readings, and shit. But, what the fuck?
So, for the seances, I looked into some of the things.
Oh, tell me the things.
So a lot of the times it was people that obviously had lost loved ones, wanting to reconnect, wanting to do all of this stuff.
I mean,
And
same.
so it's same.
Mhm.
But like mediums would go and they would do all the different things. Like they would do the tea reading, the leaf reading. They did a thing called automatic writing, which was basically either they would hold a pencil or a pen in their hand and just kind of go into a trance-like state and give whatever spirit they were trying to channel access to their body and just say, use my hand, write whatever you want, do what you want. And so the way they would originally do it would be to attach a pen to a planchette and then hold the planchette and just let the pen do whatever. But that
opium was also legal. Opium was also legal around this time. So
I mean, that's fair. Like, it might be a thing. But then that turned into the Ouija board.
No shit.
Because it was hard to read. Because when you're like, I mean, I'm sure we've all done it where we just like kind of let our hand doodle while we read something or whatever and like keep your hand busy. It's impossible to figure out what it's writing because it's just going all over the place.
Line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this turned into the Ouija board where it was still technically automatic writing because it was just spelling it out. And then it like became a game used by artists later on in like the surrealist movement to like just brainstorm new ideas and like create new original pieces of work.
that's
so like Salvador Dali would have used it to help him inspire to paint the melting clocks.
Yeah.
Neat. See, I'm an art historian. I didn't know that shit. That sounds really cool.
Right? That's why I was like, oh, I have to add that in.
Oh, thank you.
That's for you. And then, like even today, I don't know if a lot of therapists would do this, but especially in like the Freudian, I don't think I said that right.
Fuck Freud.
Okay, yeah. But
Freudian. That's
Freudian,
the word you're
there it is.
Freudian.
In like the Freudian psychoanalysis, they use that because like they consider it the same as like a Freudian slip where your brain will just let something go. And if you're not paying attention to it and your hand's writing, it's going to write what you're thinking. And it could be like not conscious, like subconscious mind. But and then it would be, oh my God, you're all running away from me. Hold on. People would later on use typewriters, computers, basically any medium they can to be able to do it because obviously it was making mediums money and making psychics money because they were going to these parties.
I mean, I'd go to that party.
Right. And like it didn't stop. So like in the early 1900s, this lady named Pearl, she was a housewife, thought that she had contacted a spirit named Patience Worth through a Ouija board. And Patience had dictated almost 5,000 poems, a play, several notes, and a bunch of short stories to Pearl. And like it was then shown through like, not testing, but that Pearl didn't know half of the words or half of the material that she was writing about. So she couldn't have been the one actually writing it. And I thought that was cool.
So on some level, that legitimized Patience being manifested through her automatic writing.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. That's what I got.
That's what you got. Okay. So I know I'm waiting for some info on the tea leaf reading at that time too.
yes.
What you got for me?
I went to Google and typed in tea leaf reading, because I know fuck all about this. And I went to a website called teahow.com. TEAHOW.com.
T-ho.
Yes. So you're supposed to steep the tea with the leaves in the cup, right? And you're supposed to drink all of it except for like a tablespoon or two is what you're supposed to have left in the cup at the end. Then you leave the spoon in there for some fucking reason. And then I'm just going to read to you the process that is on their website because I have no firsthand experience about this. I know you guys hate it. You're going to have to deal with it. Sorry.
Read away. What do you got for
It's
me?
okay. We'll live.
So, again, this is directly from their website. Here are the steps to take before you start the process of tea leaf reading. You try to clear your mind of any thoughts. Then you trust your first impressions. Don't second guess yourself. Let the process guide you. Don't rush the process. Let it come to you naturally. Calmly examine the shapes of the tea leaves and how it is distributed. Don't try to force an answer. Just observe the leaves in depth and let the answer naturally appear to you. When you're looking at the leaves, try to discern shapes and figures in how the leaves clump. Observe how your instincts are trying to guide you. Don't read the leaves in a time-bound manner. Leave space for ambiguity. And then there's also a whole list of shapes and things that I'm not going to get into because, God, we don't have that much time.
Fair.
You know, this is one of my party tricks, right?
Really?
Yeah, I read tea leaves. Not well, but I do it.
Like, do I really have to drink the tea?
Yes.
Oh, then I can't ever get my tea leaves read. Sorry.
Yes, you can.
I hate tea.
Well, what's interesting is like there's several different ways to read tea leaves because it's an intuitive process. But I did find some research when I was learning how to do it that where certain images or shapes fall within the cup will indicate the narrative. So if it's close to the handle of the cup that you're holding, it's close to your heart. If it's at the top of the cup, it's closer to like the future. If it's at the bottom of the cup, it's more internal struggle, stuff like that.
Okay.
Well, they have a whole big write-up, but if I read the whole thing, we'd be here for 7 hours.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, there's some interesting stuff out there, but I just didn't think we needed to get into it. So if you guys are interested in it, there's a lot of good shit on Google. Other search engines are available. We're not sponsored.
We're not sponsored.
Yeah. I mean,
Even though I wish we were.
the only tip I can give
Gotta get that Google money.
Yeah, right.
Sponsor me, guys.
Well, the only tip on reading leaves that I can give anybody is that I don't know what the shapes mean. So I reference dream journals. If I see like a bird, I'll look up the bird in a dream interpretation to help give me.
Steph, you got real quiet.
I'm so quiet. Did my internet crap out because it's new?
No, your
internet's still fine.
You just got really quiet.
I got really quiet.
This is now an ASMR podcast.
Well, I turned down the gain until I get the phone. So here we are. But okay, so you see this stuff in Victorian parties, along with, the palmistry and the tea reading and shit. Mm-hmm. And you know who immediately comes to mind when I think of this stuff? Houdini. Yeah, because he hated this shit.
Oh my God, he totally did. So, hold on, wait. I'm going to tell you more shit now.
I love how Brandy looks prepared.
I am. I just had to move because Ryan wants to play a game with his friend and he's going to make noise. So I moved. Hi. Different room. So he hated the seances, but only because in the 1920s, after his mother died, he tried to communicate, but obviously he wasn't very open to it because he wanted to debunk everything. And now he had someone that he could finally come in contact with. So after going a couple times and being I don't really believe in this, but whatever, he decided to focus his energy on proving them to be fakes and debunking all of their things. He began to investigate the mediums and found that he could duplicate their methods on stage. So, like, if they were like, oh, knock once if you're here, he would put his hand on their table and knock, just like they were doing. Or he would have someone else in the room knock on something. So it was just very easy for him to duplicate these things and to kind of debunk it on stage. So to prove that he had an open mind, though, like, I don't know why he felt he needed to prove that he had an open mind. He made a pact with his friends that when he died, if it was possible for him to make contact with them after his death, he would. And he like made a special code language or a code term with his wife so that if she hosted a seance, he would use that code language and she would know it was him and could prove that it was real.
Did they prove?
Which, like, now
real?
I want to, yeah. Or, like, could prove that it wasn't because, like, oh, well, he didn't do his code thing that only she knew about. So, like, if, I don't know. Because, so it didn't happen when other people were doing the seances, but if she was there, then something would happen like that. So, like, I kind of find it hard to believe because she's the one that knew the codes. So, like, was she interacting somehow and, like, making it happen? Do you know what I mean? Like, if they had a certain, like, sequence of knocks that they would do, and then she was there and the knocks were happening, but if she wasn't there, they weren't happening.
But what benefit do you have doing that if you're the only one who knows what that is?
I mean, yeah.
You can't prove to other people, like, oh, if he says pineapple and that's the code word, they don't know that the word is pineapple.
Hold on. You just got really, really, really loud.
Pineapple?
Yeah, like, okay.
I haven't moved. My mic is being stupid. I don't know what to tell you.
That's fine. I was just like, oh my God, that's loud.
That's a job for Sound Maiden.
Yeah, she's going to hate us. So I think, like, so I picture Houdini a lot like my dad because they're just both very, not closed off, but they're not open. So he would call the mediums vultures who prey on the bereaved.
That was Houdini that said that.
Houdini.
Yes.
And, like, I can see my dad saying that because, like, we all went to mediums and, like, all that stuff after my brother died, my mom, my sister, and I. And my dad was like, I'm not going to that. That's stupid. They're just trying to take all your money and prey on you. And I was like, oh, my God, that's my dad. Like, when I read that about Houdini.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to redirect back to tarot cards because I still have a page of notes.
I know.
It's so long. All
Okay.
right. So we're in the Victorian era still. 1909 gave us the Rider-Waite deck, which is still printed to this day.
Okay.
So the 20th Century Occult Tarot book was written by Waite himself, who also was part of the Hermetic Golden Dawn and was into that Aleister Crowley shit.
Okay.
Some lady named Pamela Coleman Smith illustrated these cards on a suggestion from Waite to use human figures. And he based this off a Sola Busca artwork. And I really think that the Sola Busca is really interesting, which is why I'm trying to mention it. It's its own deck. And it's illustrated by an unknown artist.
Ooh.
I know, right? Nobody knows who did them. But the plates are from the 15th century. And they have these amazing expressive figures with precise contours and shading. So I thought that was really neat. Because if you look at like 14th century, like 1400s artwork, it's still like stylized and stuff. So for this to be more natural was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And what it does is it's designed to elicit intuition to derive your own story. And that strong narrative element is what made them so popular.
Okay.
Right. So then you have Stuart Kaplan in 1977. He writes this fucking book called Tarot Cards for Fun and Fortune Telling and a slew of other books. And that just renewed interest in the 70s. So that's kind of it for the history. But I did want to explain how the cards from the playing card game translate into tarot. Because technically, you could read tarot cards from playing cards.
But there aren't the same amount of cards.
But you could.
Okay.
Just go with me on this.
Okay.
All right, Kev, name a suit of cards and I'll tell you what it is in tarot.
Go with diamonds.
Okay.
I was thinking diamonds too.
Whoa.
Whoa, you guys are on the same page. Okay, so diamonds become pentacles, which is associated with green and the earth. These cards go over health, wealth, material possessions, the physical world, realization of ideas, and material gain.
Okay.
Give me another one.
Clubs.
Clubs become wands. Associated with the color yellow and fire, these cards are generally about creativity, desires, passion, ignition, ideas, and careers.
Okay.
All right, Ian's got 2 left.
Shit. Spades.
Spades. Ooh, the spades, I got stuff. Okay. Spades become swords. So this is indigo and air. And these cards I get a lot when I get tarot card readings because they represent battles, challenges, struggling, physical and moral conflict, action, and change.
Basic your whole life.
Right? But what I love is I have a weird sidebar on the spades.
Okay.
Elizabeth I levied a tax on the manufacture of playing cards, which generated significant revenue for the crown. By the end of the era, Queen Anne, playing cards were in full swing. Men preferred a game called piquet. Women preferred ombre, and the clergy and county squires played whist. So the ace of spades always looks really distinctive in a deck of cards. And that's because it was an official stamp of certification to indicate that the proper English tax was paid on the deck of cards. So you would buy a deck and it wouldn't have an ace of spades. And you had to go to the stamp office, pay the tax, and they gave you a special ace of spades so your deck was complete.
Oh.
And the manufacturers were forbidden to produce an ace for the spades. And this tax survived into the 1960s. Yeah. And when they print decks now, if you look at them, like the bicycle ones, the ace of spades is always weird and unique.
Okay.
Yeah. So the last one Jens didn't get was hearts.
It's because I forgot that one.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember what it was.
Well, those are red and water, and they deal with emotions, love, romance, happiness, intuition, psychic abilities, and connection to the supernatural.
Oh.
Yeah. What's also weird about like a regular deck of playing cards is some believe that the 12 honors of the deck refer to the 12 signs of the zodiac or the 12 months of the year, and that the red and black in a regular playing card deck refer to the solstice and the equinox phases. And the 4 suits are the 4 seasons. The 13 cards in each suit being the same as the week in each quarter of the year. So you have winter, spring, summer, fall.
Okay.
And then original tarot decks, 4 archangels appear in the major arcana. So your temperance was originally Michael. The devil was originally Uriel. Judgment was originally Gabriel. And the lovers were Raphael. And then Brandy, you might like this one. Famous fashion houses such as Versace and Dolce & Gabbana use tarot designs in their recent collections.
Wow.
Yeah, and I have a fun game for us to play, but before I do, I want to go over that there's a myth that you should never buy your own tarot deck. Have you ever heard of that?
You told me that.
Yeah, it should be a gift. Well, this is bullshit. If
That's
you're drawn to, yeah, I found this out too. If you're drawn to a deck, just fucking buy the deck. It's like a crystal. If you see it and you like it,
Yeah.
buy it.
Because something's telling you that you need it.
Yeah, I realized that because I bought every single deck that I have, even though I wasn't supposed to. And I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it does make total sense. Like, I wouldn't go and buy, like, you crystals or anything and be like, oh, yeah, Steph needs this. Unless, like, we were together, you were drawn to it, and then, like, put it down and decided on something else. I'd be like, oh, yeah, Steph liked that.
Actually, my buddy Chris, I helped smudge her house, she bought me, something told her to buy me Tiger's Eye, which I absolutely love, and she bought it for me raw. And it has its own meaning. So it made the gift really significant that something told her to buy me Tiger's Eye. But that's a story for another time. So you ready for a STEM project, guys?
Yeah.
Kev, you want a math?
Let's do it.
Okay. So I found out in my research that everyone has a tarot birth card associated with the major arcana. Okay, so you got to do math. You add up your birthday. So for example, if you're born on October 7th, 1980, you add the 1, the 0, the 2, the 1, the 9, the 8, and the 0, and you get 21. And then you add those two together, and you get 2 plus 1 equals 3. That tells you your card. So in that one, it was the World and the Empress. So I mathed mine out because my birthday is December 26, 1986. And my card is number 7, the Chariot. This is neat. You have to tell me how much this fits me. So everything that the Chariot does is resulting actions from the Lover's card, which is number 6. So all relationships cause my resulting actions. And look, I have this book, so I have a quote from it. It says, life drives slowly forward and the charioteer must show steady purpose to gain valuable experience in this journey. And that will allow her to find her destiny. So it also represents victory, but a check of ego. And the Chariot is associated with Cancer in astrology, which is a hard exterior and soft marshmallowy insides. So the shell of personality protects vulnerability. And for this person, the head and the heart must balance to move forward.
Oh, that's 100% you.
Mm-hmm.
Like
right.
To a T.
Right? All right, let's find out Kev's, because I'm excited to find out Kev's. Kev,
10.
Math.
10.
That's your birth tarot number?
Yep.
Okay, wait. This might explain why you have so much luck on the turnip market. So I'm reading from my book, sorry guys, but I don't have it memorized. So Kev is the Wheel of Fortune.
Yep.
After soul searching in a hermit phase, the wheel brings a new lesson that we get to understand fate, to see if we can and cannot control and go with its flow. This may be the thought of understanding of non-attachment, where we explore our own psyche but cannot control the greater workings of the universe. So it's a go with the flow. It's also associated with Jupiter, the planet linked with luck and learning, Kev.
Well, there you go.
How do you feel about that?
I like learning shit.
So apparently the stars are in your favor. You're a lucky motherfucker.
Seems like it.
Nice. Okay, Brandy, your turn. Math. 5. Okay, you're the Hierophant, or the High Priest. They're an upholder of spiritual tradition. Works in public, mediating between heaven and spiritual counsel. The Hierophant may appear in Orthodox Catholic, but in reading represents the nature of our own individual faith and the quest for oneness. So let's see. The pillars denote knowledge, while the keys to have them symbolize spiritual authority. Huh. Says that it's associated with Taurus and a bull. Upright meaning growth. So it's about learning, spiritual advancement, and unity, having divine inspiration available to you in order to nature universal truths. This card shows you that the sanctuary of community, particularly a relation.
Steph has pulled her headphones.
I popped the cord. Popped the cord.
There you
Completely did that. Okay. So the Hierophant can form of a teacher angel who watches you from above. In some instance, the Hierophant also predicts partnership or marriage. I am confused.
Me too.
I'm so confused. It says feeling oppressed by authority and conformity. Tradition, unity, self-development. I think, okay, I'm going to take a stab at this one. And I think it's somebody who continues to evolve. Until
that makes sense.
Yeah, it just seems like that you assume a position of authority as you evolve. You keep advancing to the various stages until you are an expert. And that's kind of like a quest for oneness and purpose that you're on. I think. I'm taking a stab because yours is the only one that makes me really confused. Because I was like, Kev's card matches. My card matches. You might want to Google it, the High Priest. Number 5, see if you come up with something better than my book. Because after that, I got nothing. Episode's over. Brandy's card disappointed me so bad.
Okay. Okay, so hold on. This says that if it's upright, okay, I don't want your stupid ad. Go away. It symbolizes intuition, sacred knowledge, divine feminine, and the subconscious mind.
Oh my God, you're a haunted bitch. You're natural sensitive, and you're feminine as shit with your gold and your blingies.
Exactly.
Okay, so
and
it does
then
fit.
If it's reversed, hold on, wait.
Oh,
if
okay.
it's reversed, it's secrets, disconnected from intuition, withdrawal, and silence.
Oh shit, Brandy.
Like literally me. Hi.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I like this deck better.
Okay, so my book failed you, but it doesn't mean that your birth card did.
True.
Okay, so let's wind down this episode because it's long enough and Sound Maiden's going to kill me.
Yeah, she will.
Kev, do you have a weird but true for me?
I do, actually.
Oh, okay. Please make it good.
Squirrels are behind most power outages in the United States.
Squirrel!
I fucking love squirrels. Wait, story time. So, we went to the store today, me and Ryan, to get screws for a license plate. And when we were at Ace Hardware, can I tell you, I saw the cutest little birdhouse that looked like a real house. And Ryan was like, why do you want a birdhouse? I was like, well, I don't want a birdhouse. I want a squirrel house. And then he crushed all my dreams because squirrels wouldn't fit through the hole of the birdhouse. So now I need a squirrel house.
You got to make a squirrel house.
I need it.
There you go.
Nice. Okay, I can't remember what our non-offensive dare was from the last.
87.
How do you remember that? Are you just picking a number?
No, that was the number. It was 87.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so we're going to plug what the heck we're talking about non-offensive dares here. Yeah, Sound Maiden did her thing. Thank you, Sound Maiden.
We
Okay.
love you.
So dare number 87 is to make a bucket list.
Oh, I have a bucket list.
Wait, you seriously sat this down and wrote bucket list?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your number one?
I want to go to Italy.
Nice. And do you have a bucket list?
Nope.
Or am I just that morbid and think I'm going to die young?
I think that you have a greater understanding of the fragility of life because of your experiences.
That's a nice way of putting it.
What, that you're morbid as fuck?
Who at 25 sits down and is like, yeah, let's make a bucket list. Let's do this.
It makes sense if everybody knew you the way I knew you.
You're not wrong.
But I'm not going to disclose all your secrets. Ooh. Kev, you should write a bucket list. You should do this dare for House Veritas.
You totally should.
It's your turn.
Maybe, we'll see.
Okay.
I mean, you only need to write like 3 things and it's considered a list.
How's 2 things not a list?
I don't know. I like 3 better.
Okay, 3. Your bucket list must include 3 things.
That you haven't already done.
Okay, guys, we finished an episode. And like 2
Proud of
hours
us.
later.
Look at
Only
us.
an hour
go.
and a half.
We started at 10:30. We bullshitted till about 11, almost 11. So we're over an hour, definitely.
Oops.
So we better pray that our audience has a British attention span.
I mean, they really should, because if I can listen to us, you can listen to us. You're fine.
Fair, yeah.
It's fine.
You have ADD more than any of us,
But I don't.
but you do.
But I do. But I don't.
Last episode, you're like, "Oh, I have ADD." Hi.
Hi.
That's
But
a direct quote from the previous episode.
But I don't. I've never been diagnosed. But everyone else is like, yeah, you have ADD. And I was like, yeah, I do. You're right.
Meanwhile, Kev is checked out. It's over. So
I'm
Kev,
still here. I'm
so
listening.
please tell me this was better than our last go.
It was definitely more fun.
Good. Good. All right, so next up, we're working on Iron for next week.
Yeah.
Cool.
Brian,
Cool.
House Veritas, we're coming for you.
We love you too.
All right. Well,
We don't just
All
love
right.
Tara.
we don't just love Tara, but my new recording studio is hot as fuck.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like done.
Have fun.
I
Go to
need
bed.
a good sign off. I feel like the last couple of sign offs are really like abrupt. Like, okay, we're done, bye. And that was it.
Peace out, Cub Scout.
Kev, you got to
See
say
you
goodbye.
later.
I can't end the recording until you at least say something.
See you later,
Bye.
crocodile. Oh, no, I said it wrong. Fuck me up.
Brandy,
Bye.
you interrupted his
Bye.
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 Didn't even do it right. All right, guys, we're done.